piece they can make, I think.
This is typical of what they've been seeing out there all afternoon. The competition still going on. The United States team very, very strong in this.
Out here, Bill Steinkraus, as one of the competitors is out there with about 12 riders remaining in the battle. Now is for silver and bronze because the United States team has clinched the gold. First time ever for the United States equestrians to win a team gold since 1912.
The first time in the history of equestrian sport for us, and it's a very, very gratifying experience for the American team that has really worked so tremendously hard. The U.S. team in 1972 lost by only a quarter of a fault to the German team in Munich. And that was as close as the United States team ever got.
Bruno Scolari of Italy, you see the first riders, 8 faults, 4 for the second. And Scolari with only 1 knockdown or 4 penalty points. So for Italy, they have a total now 3 best lowest scores of the 4-person team. 75.25. They are not in contention for a medal because West Germany and Great Britain and Canada and France are the contenders for the last 2 medals.
That's right. It's a really exciting battle for the silver and the bronze, notwithstanding the fact that the United States team won the gold without the 4th rider even having to ride.
This is the arena, the San Gabriel Mountains, and this is how it happened. Joe Fargas, touch of class, had 2 clear rounds today. Melanie Smith had 1 for the United States. And, of course, Conrad Homfeld had the last, which proved to be the clincher.
And what a classy performance that was, too.
The rider on the course is Guy Creighton of Australia. He is a 34-year-old equestrian riding Conclusion.
Yes, Australia is pretty far back also in the standings.
So let's go and see how Joe Fargas did it earlier today. There is the combination, Joe Fargas and touch of class, that produced the first clear round here in the first round, helping his team to hold down number 1 after 1 round.
Joe Fargas really produced an absolutely dazzling round. I mean, it was a copybook round, as the British call it. He rides in a very, very nice style. The mare jumps in a very, very beautiful style. And it really set, in a way, the character of the whole competition. It proved that it could be done, but it proved that it had to be executed technically very perfectly.
Little 11-year-old mare, the minute she walks into the arena, she knows she's on stage.
She gave that a pretty good bump, and I hope that doesn't mean that she's feeling less generous this afternoon than she did this morning. She was putting out a lot. She was giving her fences quite a lot of air this morning, and I would say she's not doing it this afternoon, Chris. She can sneak over a big fence about as neatly as anything you ever saw, but you wouldn't mind it if she were feeling a little bit more ebullient in her spirits than she appears to be right now. So far, so good, however.
Each of the horses must carry 165 pounds.
We have time allowed of 119, not bad for the good riders. She jumps in okay and jumps out okay. Difficult line here to the water.
That's poetry.
She tried over that. I'd say she gave that a lot of air, and that's comforting. Beats the water perfectly again. Cranks back very well for the oxer. A little bit close to it behind. She's just a little bit dragging her hind end, but she hasn't hit a fence hard yet. Joe flaps his wings in there because she was long to jump into the 3 combination.
She had the hardest of rubs or touches, which don't count.
To the last line, still clear. Boy, what it would mean to Joe to jump 2 clears in the Olympic Games. Jumps the wall beautifully, steady, steady. Jumps in okay. Very close coming out. My heavens, 1 fence to go. And she jumped it clear, and that That's another clear round for the U.S. team. What a way to start the second round.
Hot. 2 clear rounds. Incredible.
You can't say too often, Chris, touch a class isn't the right name because
she's that mare.
She's class to her hoof tips.
She retires and won her back on the farm in Indiana. What a lovely, lovely competitor. And what a great rider, Joe Fargis of the United States. We'll be back at Santa Anita. Santa Anita, scene of all the equestrian events except cross country, which was at Fairbanks Ranch. Team jumping today.
To resume our coverage now of that team equestrian event. What you're going to be seeing now took place just a little while ago. It's team equestrian. There are 4 on each team. The 3 best scores count. 1 is thrown out. Those 3 are added up, and it's as simple as that. As we rejoin our coverage, it's going to be the Swiss team coming up. Team equestrian at Santa Anita.
Much of the excitement of the first round today was provided by this 33-year-old lady from Switzerland, Heidi Robiani, and Jessica had 1 of 6 clear rounds up to this point. Here she is now, her second and final round in Grand Prix jumping. And Switzerland, Bill, still in the hunt.
Absolutely threatening. Their first round of the day was not very useful performance. That was a 16 faulter by Gerda, and he repeated that in the second round. Heidi's first round of the day was absolutely brilliant, and it was no fluke. This is a very, very good combination of horse and rider. I really love the 10-year-old Irish-bred chestnut mare. I hadn't seen her before. You can see that she's fantastic. And Heidi, who from a distance, she's no lightweight, you know, may not look like a sylph-like rider, but she knows exactly what she's doing. She is the sister of Max Howry, for many years a rider on the Swiss team, and a very, very good horseman. And I bet she's ridden all her life. It looks like that.
And of course, another clear round for the team. So important.
Absolutely. It's very, very hard to win Nations Cups without jumping clear rounds, just as it's very hard to win golf tournaments without making some birdies and some eagles and a lot of pars. It's a thrill, you know, to do what Joe Fargis did, leading off for the United States, to lead off your team by jumping 2 clear rounds of Nations Cup. And the way this mare is jumping, it doesn't seem that there's any reason why she shouldn't do it. She shouldn't duplicate Joe's performance.
Now the triple.
What a nice mare. She comes in very steadily, a little bit risky, as a matter of fact, and comes out effortlessly. And that's what you call scope. Scope is when you can walk down to big fences and know that you can accelerate enough going through the line to be able to get there. A lot of horses come to those things whipping and spurring and still don't make it. She pulls up rather roughly because this is very tight and too roughly. And there go the, oh my heavens, what are they going to do now? The jury rang the bell, indicating that they thought that was a refusal and not a stop. That's a borderline call. Had she really stopped, or was she in the act of jumping? As a judge myself, I believe I would have let her go.
3 instead of 4 points.
Honestly, it was not a very good jump through the fence, but it sure wasn't a stop. She never was still on the side of the fence. She was kind of trying to jump at it right from the base of it. But
do you see what Jessica did on the second part of that combination?
Okay, well, we'll probably get a replay here in a minute. It's a tight distance. She didn't want to jump into the combination too strongly, so she said, wait, wait, wait. And the mare said, hey, I got to jump sooner or later. Let me go. And the mare just took a stab at it. And it really is a shame, because a lovely mare and a lovely horse, and what a disappointment. She showed that she could have done it. And she finishes
126.54 beyond the 119. So 2-time penalty points with the 3 of the refusal. Heidi Robiani, total of 5 penalty points on her second and final ride.
Not a bad team score.
No.
Okay, you can live with 5 faults, but it should have been a clear. She really deserved a clear. Let's see what happened. Here she is, coming over the wall. Now she's going to fight to steady, because the mare jumped very deeply over the wall. And she's fighting to regulate, doesn't quite make it. She's on a very long stride. The mare just can't jump it from there. And I would say she really did jump it, as far as I'm concerned. Had she jumped it, then that was 8 faults instead of the 5. So she got a little bit of a break from the jury.
is Heidi Robiani of Switzerland. We'll return to Santa Anita because there's more great competition ahead.
The games of the 23rd Olympiad continue. Here now, Jim McKay.
And we're going to continue our coverage of the show jumping equestrian event. It was a triumph for the United States, the first time we have ever won a team event in the Olympics in show jumping. And it was also an unprecedented triumph in the way they did it, the earliness with which they clinched it. A man named Conrad Homfeld of the American team, 32 years old, from Petersburg, Virginia, did it. He was only the third rider on the second round.
Now moving into the arena here at Santa Anita, and greeted very warmly by the capacity crowd, standing room only, from the United States, Conrad Homfeld and his 14-year-old gray stallion, Abdullah. Beautiful combination on this late afternoon here in Arcadia, California. It's a pretty sight there, Bill, moving along and moving into position now to attack the first of the 15 fences.
It's been such a thrilling day and such a beautiful day. The course is a good-looking course, but far more important, technically, it's been a marvelous course that has exposed any little crack in the rider's armor. The good riders have been able to cope with it. If there was one little error that you made, it would cost you 4 faults. I'm sure it hurts Conrad's pride that he had 2 fences down in the morning with Abdullah, because Abdullah was one of the most consistent horses all through the Olympic trials, and this is an outstanding combination of horse and rider. Let's see if they can improve on the score they had this morning of 8 faults, which proved to be the discard score.
His friend and teammate Joe Fargis, 2 clear rounds today for the United States team.
But Leslie Burr, riding second, had 8 faults with Albany, so it would be nice to be able to erase that 8-fault score with something a little bit better.
At 7.
Very good so far.
Abdullah is the name of the horse. Conrad Homfeld.
Conrad really makes a big move to get him reorganized there. He's had trouble taking him back, and so he didn't ride so aggressively this morning. He was a little bit afraid to say go to him for fear he might get strong. I like the way he's going this afternoon better than I did in the morning round. Conrad is riding him more aggressively, saying, come on there, Abdullah. And Abdullah responds.
And that's the combination that these fans have enjoyed all day, starting at 10 a.m. this morning Pacific time.
Coming to the last line, if he jumps this thing cleanly, the gold medal is gone, and it's gone to the United States. Steady there, Abdullah. He rubbed that. Exciting. One more fence to go.
An Oxer.
There is no way to catch the U.S. of A. That is the gold medal.
Clear round today. Joe Fargis of the United States 2, Melanie Smith 1, and now Conrad Homfeld. And listen to these fans.
Yeah, you think they enjoyed the day today, Chris? You talk about a stylish performance under pressure. That was a beautiful performance.
Biggest day for this 32-year-old horseman. That makes a man that's worked with him a lot, George Morris, very happy, I'm sure, to see Conrad come in and have a clear round in the second and final round of this Grand Prix jumping event. Conrad Homfeld putting on the clincher.
That's a clincher with one rider still in hand. Melanie Smith never had to come in and hit a home run.
And the United States with a rider to go with only 12 penalty points on the board, Bill. That's incredible. And now here at Santa Anita, after seeing how the United States team members copped the gold in the second act of this show here, Grand Prix jumping, it has certainly been exciting. We've just had a terrible fall here. Pierre Durand of France. He was riding what could have been an important round for France. Right now, it stands West Germany, a loose horse, but he'll be caught as he comes down by the scoreboard.
But he's not wearing a bridle, Chris, and so it's going to take quite a while to get things reorganized on him. And there are going to be so many time penalties by the time they are that he's finished. And a very disconsolate Pierre Durand walks towards the gate, carrying his bridle, carrying his hat. You realize that had he jumped a clear round, France would have jumped into the silver medal lead.
Yes.